Unpack this. There's a really compelling idea floating around right now.
Mm.
It's this surprising potential for young people, teenagers even, to build like significant wealth in today's economy.
Right. It kind of flies in the face of the old idea of just getting a weekend job, doesn't it?
Totally. The suggestion is those kinds of roles are maybe being overtaken by all these online opportunities that are booming.
And the source we're looking at, this YouTube transcript, it argues that teenagers aren't just, involved in this shift. They actually have a unique edge.
An edge. How so?
Well, the online world, it's not something they had to learn like older generations. It's like their native space. So that intuition is a real advantage.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So our mission then in this deep dive is to really get into the source material. We want to understand why this is happening and maybe more importantly, how young people are actually doing it.
Yeah, how they're making it work. And the video, it promises to lay out these 7.5 best paid online jobs for teenagers.
0.5. Okay, intriguing.
And it gives real world examples for each one. So it's not just theory.
Right. It shows it's already happening for some.
Exactly.
So if you're listening, you're probably thinking, what are these jobs exactly? And how are teens already succeeding? Let's jump in.
Okay, first up, the source talks about being an advertising deal broker.
Right, an ad deal broker. And the potential earnings mentioned are honestly kind of wild. Anywhere from like $1 up to $120,000 a year.
Wow, that's a huge range.
It tells you, it really depends on the deals, right? But the potential ceiling is clearly very high.
So what does this role actually involve? It's basically being a connector, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You're the middleman, finding paid ads or sponsorships, linking brands with creators or, projects that need that funding.
Okay. And there's a specific example.
Yeah, a really good one. The source talks about their son doing this challenge, trying to cover the cost of a Tesla with side hustles. Part of that was getting the car wrapped with sponsor logos. And out of nowhere, they get this cold email from a teenager, Christian.
Okay.
And Christian's pitch was simple. He'd find them the sponsorship deal for a 30% cut.
30%. That's quite a commission. Did he deliver?
He did. He brought him a $30,000 offer. Now, the source ended up going with a different deal they found themselves, but if they had taken Christian's deal,
His cut would have been $9,000.
$9,000 from one deal, facilitated by a teenager. That's pretty incredible.
It really is. And he'd done this before.
Yeah, the source says he had success with other deals too. And the key thing Christian mentioned, the big insight, was about relationships.
Oh, okay.
He called it making friends in the right places,
Yeah.
like a network, One connection leads to the next.
It shows that even online, it's not just about the tech. It's still very much about people, about networking.
Absolutely. And once you land one big deal with a known company,
That reference becomes gold, right? Makes getting the next client way easier.
it's like building social proofs or trust capital. And practically, the source says it involves using software to find influencer emails, reaching out, understanding what they need.
And then pitching brands for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a modern digital version of those classic Dale Carnegie principles, how to win friends.
Online influence.
And Christian's core lesson was always do your best work. Because one good job, one good relationship can open so many doors you never know.
That's solid advice for anything, really. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2 is Discord Community Manager for Web3.
Community managers. Yeah, these roles are popping up everywhere. The earnings here, starting above $70,000 a year, potentially.
And maybe much higher, right?
Right.
The source mentions $2,000 plus per week if you're really good.
Per week. And potentially more if you can handle multiple projects at once.
That kind of money for managing an online community, it just shows how vital that role is becoming.
It really does. The source explains that, particularly for marketing too, like Gen Z, community isn't just a nice to have, it's everything.
Brands like Gymshark were mentioned, investing heavily in this.
Right, so the Discord manager, they're the glue holding these communities together. The source even knows someone, Harry, who hires these managers.
And thinks $2 CAL a week is reasonable for top talent.
Yeah, because the job involves so much. You're on the front lines, telling the brand story, handling customer service, supporting members.
You need to be aware of what's happening globally, be active, available, really listen.
And kind of be the voice of the CEO, but, without always speaking officially for the company. It's a balancing act.
It sounds like you need to be always on, and the source flags multitasking is a really key skill here.
Definitely. It's a blend of people skills and being digitally savvy, and the market's clearly valuing that combination highly.
Okay, on to number 3. This one is writing scripts for content creators.
Writing. The source suggests earnings here can easily go over $100,000.
With top copywriters potentially making like over $500 an hour, or even $50,000 for one web page.
Yeah, that 50 grand for a web page sounds pretty wild.
It does. But the source explains it's not really about the words themselves. It's about the value those words create.
Exactly. Leverage. If you write a page that costs $50, but it helps a business double its monthly profit from, say, $200K to $400K.
Then it's a no-brainer investment for them.
Right. You're making rich clients richer, and you get a slice of that value you help generate.
They call them modern salesmen in print, or the magician behind the content. And it's not just websites now, is it?
No. It's talk scripts, Twitter threads, email campaigns, all sorts of digital content.
And the example given is someone named Adam.
Yeah, Adam. He started writing travel blog posts just for passive income, and that path led him to copywriting for some really big influencers.
And his strategy sounds familiar. It echoes Christian, the ad broker,
How so?
building relationships one client led to the next. He also focused on being, exclusive, offering something unique that couldn't easily be copied.
Right. The source makes a good point. There will always be someone cheaper.
Always.
So you don't compete on price. You find clients who value premium quality and can pay for it because you deliver results. World-class service.
Positioning yourself as that high-value partner. Makes sense. Okay, what's job number 4?
SaaS software coder. SaaS meaning software as a service.
Right, and the estimate here is $60,000 to $80,000 a year for teenagers doing this.
The source brings up Sam King, who apparently built a multi-million-dollar business this way instead of taking a traditional route.
And SaaS, just to clarify, is like software you access online, right? Like Notion, MailChimp, Photoshop, tools like that.
Exactly. And the beauty is once you've built the main software, the cost to add more users is pretty low. So it's almost all profit and it scales incredibly well.
Yeah, it avoids that race to the bottom you get with physical products, the tight margins, inventory issues. None of that.
No inventory needed. It can scale almost infinitely.
So how did Sam King do it? Did he code it himself?
His approach was interesting. He researched problems that businesses commonly face. Then he hired a programmer to actually build the software solution.
Okay. So he had the idea, found the problem. The example was a tool for managing social media called Flick.
Right. So the big lesson from Sam, according to the source, is finding a problem that affects a lot of people.
And then creating a solution that's better than what's already out there.
That's where the coder, or the person with the idea who hires the coder, comes in, creating that digital asset that solves a real need at scale.
That's powerful. Okay, number 5, content redistribution editor.
This one's got a pretty high earning potential listed, $120,000 to $150,000 a year.
Yeah, and I like the analogy the source uses. It's like taking leftovers and making soup.
Or recycling in the digital age, as they put it.
Basically, you take long-form content like long podcasts, webinars, YouTube videos.
And you chop it up, remix it, edit it down into short clips for TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, that kind of thing.
Exactly, helping creators get more mileage out of stuff they've already made.
And the example is Josh. He apparently got the idea at VidSummit, this creator conference.
Realizing creators make so much content.
Right. And he saw the gap. He didn't need to make new stuff. He could just repurpose their existing stuff for different platforms, helping them reach more people.
It makes perfect sense. Big creators don't have time to do all that editing themselves. It's a huge pain point.
Definitely. And Josh apparently scaled it up later, hired a team. It's smart, find value in optimizing what's already there.
Totally. What's next on the list then?
Number 6, website developer.
Okay, web dev. Potential earnings here are pegged between $80,000 and $150,000 annually for teens.
Yeah, building websites. Often it's the main front door for a business online, right?
Yeah.
So it's fundamental.
And you can specialize. The source mentions their friend Chris, who lives in Italy.
Living the dream.
Right. He niched down into building marketing funnels, specifically for the e-learning market.
Okay, so a specific niche. And did he share any key strategies?
Yes, a really important one. He structures his deals to keep clients on a monthly retainer.
Recurring revenue.
Exactly. For ongoing tweaks, maintenance, updates, it turns the service into more of a subscription business.
Like Netflix, but for your website, that creates predictable income, and it's relatively passive once it's set up.
Yeah, and Chris's whole philosophy, according to the source, is interesting. It's not just about maximizing the income figure.
Oh.
He thinks the best job is one that requires little ongoing maintenance, provides passive income, and buys you freedom.
Freedom. Okay.
He apparently lives pretty simply in places like Thailand, prioritizing that freedom over just chasing the highest possible salary, which he sees as kind of a trap.
That's a really valuable perspective. It's not just the money, it's what the money and the work structure allow you to do. Lifestyle design.
Exactly. Freedom as the goal.
Okay.
Almost there. Job number 7, Twitter manager.
Twitter manager. Earnings estimated around $60,000 to $80,000 per year.
Makes sense. Platforms like Twitter, or X now, I guess, are huge for public conversation and how creators connect. So managing an account well is valuable.
Yeah, building that presence. The example is Shah, who apparently dropped out of college, spent a lot of time on the platform.
Trolling, the
Yeah.
source says.
Huh, maybe. But he turned that time into expertise, became a Twitter guru.
So what's his secret?
Intense study, apparently. Not just looking at what's viral now, but digging back. Analyzing the posts that made successful creators originally blow up.
Understanding the foundations of their success.
Right, and learning how to grab attention quickly with just a few words, using things like Twitter threads and hosting spaces effectively.
Okay, so platform-specific tactics. And how does he structure his business?
Similar to Chris, the web developer takes on multiple clients at the same time, keeps them on retainer.
That recurring revenue model again. Seems to be a recurring theme itself.
It's definitely a smart way to build stability.
Okay, and finally, we have the point 5. Job 7.5. Executive assistant.
Right, the bonus job. Called a bonus because it might involve some travel, so not purely online. Earnings potential, $90,000 to $110,000 a year.
An EA. In this context, it sounds like doing basically everything for a busy creator or influencer.
Yeah, scheduling, handling comms, making small decisions. The key is making yourself indispensable.
Totally essential. The source mentions Gabe, who works for someone named Neil, and apparently does so much for them.
And the perks could be cool, right? Traveling with the influencer, seeing places.
Definitely a potential upside.
Right.
And it loops back to what we heard about Christian, the broker.
Understanding connections.
Yeah, and the power of making yourself absolutely vital to the person you support, being that right-hand person.
That's a powerful role, whether it's online or offline.
So, stepping back a bit, looking at all these examples from the source material, this deep dive really underscores this idea, doesn't it?
That the digital world is genuinely opening up these incredible paths for young people, ways to create real value, earn serious income, often without the traditional gatekeepers like degrees or needing to be in a specific physical location.
Yeah, and the common threads are really striking when you look across all these jobs.
Like what?
Well, the power of relationships and networks, definitely. Doing really good work that gets results. Finding ways to genuinely create value for someone else.
And that recurring revenue idea popped up quite a few times too, building stability.
Absolutely. And the source finishes by looking ahead a bit, suggesting that AI, artificial intelligence,
It's going to be the next big thing, another major opportunity for teens.
yeah, a big moneymaker is how they put it, which just shows how fast this whole landscape keeps changing.
It really suggests that staying curious, being adaptable, that's crucial for navigating all this.
Couldn't agree more. So considering all these different ways young people are finding success brokering deals, building communities, writing copy, coding software, editing content, building sites, managing social media, kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of unique value could you, listening right now, potentially offer or create in this digital space?